We've got a wonderful band with us today. Dale Watson and his Lone Stars. They're playing tonight at New Vintage. Show starts at 8. They have a new album called Call Me Insane, and I've been seeing Dale Watson's name. Been seeing you making lots of different appearances here lately, Dale.
Yeah, I've been all over the place.
Yeah, for real.
But just for the record, I don't think we'll ever get all the kinks out. Like you said. Always keep it kinky.
Right. Now, you're celebrating your 20th anniversary as a recording artist this year.
Professionally, yeah. I recorded my first record in 1977, so.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
like
okay.
that,
So it's been much longer
but,
than that.
You know, that was just, vanity stuff,
What were you doing right before 1995? What were you doing for a living? Were you making music for a living at that point?
Yeah, I've been playing music, for a living since I graduated high school. I worked in a Shasta beverage plant in Houston, Texas for a little time, and gas stations, part-time jobs here and there, but always played music.
You do a lot of songs about trucking, like you have the trucking sessions.
Right.
The new volume 3's just come out.
Right.
When I first heard there was a Good Trucking Tonight, I think it was. That was the first song I'd ever heard of yours, and so it made me wonder if you were a trucker yourself at one point.
Well, my dad was a trucker, and I was in truck driving school. When, like I said, I was always doing part-time jobs, and I was in truck driving school before I had a record hit in Europe. So once I was about to graduate and sign on with the USA Trucks.
Wow.
But then that happened, and I had to go to Europe or finish my schooling. So I quit the schooling and went on to. Now, though, with the federal regulations, since I own a bus, I had to learn all over again, do logbooks and medical card and do drug testing and all that. So now I'm back to being a trucker. I just do this music on the side.
You've come full circle.
Full circle, man.
Yeah. Couldn't escape it. You had to do it.
Apparently, it's just something I have to be doing.
Right. What's the being in the business this long? You've seen all the changes. I mean, and I'm talking about changes with technology, the way, also the way artists have a hard time making a living just on record sales alone anymore. It's virtually
the industry has changed, so has the manufacturing of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like every facet of it. Yet, in order to stay relevant, you have to. I mean, what do you think you have to do?
Well, again, especially someone like me who likes to stay close to the root as far as musically, I think it's some of the changes have been great. Pretty much most of them have, especially technology-wise. Now I do prefer the older sound of analog and all that, but digital has came so close now that it's very, very close. You can actually marry the two together, by recording analog and dump into digital, or vice versa. It's not 100% either or, but it's very close. It's a good marriage. So, and that's what I like to do. I like to take I like old-looking things that are new, because the new technology is great. But I like the old look and style, and quite frankly, if you use the sound, there's a lot of the new programmable amps and stuff like that actually have the old vintage sound of. so that's kind of the way I've compromised with the industry and the business. But as far as a business model, it's actually easier now to record your stuff and get it out there quickly. I mean, the other day I did a thing for a radio show that's in Austin, Texas. I'm a fan of the show, so I did a little jingle for them. I recorded it in my studio, and I emailed it to the guys, and they had it on air in 15 minutes. So,
isn't that crazy?
And it took me 15 minutes to record it. So we're living in an instant world as far as being able to get your music to the world.
Yeah.
It's not unfeasible that you'd have a million sales in one day if you do something that just hits on the internet.
Yeah, it really is mind-boggling.
Of course, you'll make zero money.
That's the downside.
which is now that is today's world.
Yep, it sure is. It sure is. What's the and I'm asking you this just because you've been in the business for 20 years. I've met a lot of musicians that haven't, or they hit right away. but maybe burn out fast. It's hard to tell anymore the way things go. But
it is hard to tell you.
But it seems like things are starting to really break for you.
I know. Overnight success.
Yeah, right.
It's just everything just popped. I guess my sticking around long enough and doing what I do is just has served me well now. But it's never been easy. But it's not been hard because it's something I love. I'm doing what I love.
Yeah, I was curious as to what maybe the best advice you've ever gotten about being in the music business.
I've gotten a lot of advice along the way and ignored it. And my dad gave me great advice, and even Roy Head gave me some good advice one time. Who is world's worst about taking advice, and it was all just stay true to yourself. Just do what you do. But like Roy Head told me, he says, do what you do, but don't be opposed to compromising to a point. Don't compromise yourself, but compromise.
I think that's good advice too.
It is good advice, just because I used to be really bullheaded and closed-minded, and especially musically. And when you open yourself up just to at least listen, then you have a better understanding, I think.
Mm-hmm. I've heard I've read some comments recently about your take on sort of modern country music. And it hadn't gotten any better over the years. So, but with the advent of what Blake Shelton said, were you going to ask a question? I didn't want to interrupt you. No, I mean, go ahead. I think you're going to answer it.
Well, the guy Blake Shelton, who I never even heard of, and I can't tell you one song he's done. Of course, I'm sure he couldn't tell you one song I've done. But he said that in a comment that nobody likes to listen to their grandparents' music and their I don't know whether they're just old farts and they call them other things too, but. Essentially, he just told what Nashville was thinking, that they don't want to look back and they don't care about the Jimmy Dickens, Porter Wagners, and the Haggards, and they don't care about all that stuff. And they're wanting to infuse. The way he put it was, he was entertainer, male vocalist of the year, and it's his duty to bring country music to make it evolve into something new. And I think you can evolve and keep your roots once you do a hip hop song on a country album. You're not country anymore, Mm-hmm. But of course today that is country. So that's my whole argument, is that the title, the name, the nomenclature of country has changed to the point where I can't fight it anymore. Now it's become I am not country. Because of what it is, what country music is today. So that's why I became a Ameripolitan.
A Ameripolitan, right. That was the word I saw associated with your name, which is kind of like a whole new...
It's a new genre.
New genre. And can you explain what that is real quickly?
4 categories: honky-tonk, western swing, outlaw, and rockabilly. And to me, if any of them categories, I can give you a name that would go with it. Like honky-tonk would be George Jones and Hank Williams, and western swing, of course, Bob Wills, Sleep at the Wheel. Mm-hmm. Rockabilly, of course, Carl Perkins, Big Sandy and Fly Right Boys, going to go new, and outlaw would be, of course, Willie and Waylon, and new stuff would be like Whitey Morgan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Ameripolitan is the genre that Dale Watson fits under, and Dale Watson is our guest here on WFPK. Call Me Insane is the name of the new album. We will talk about the new album, but maybe we go ahead and hear a song from you guys.
All right.
And this is Burden of the Cross.
Burden of the Cross.
All right, very good. Dale Watson and his Lone Stars live on WFPK Radio Louisville. That song's called Burden of the Cross. It appears on Call Me Insane, the new album. And Dale Watson and his band are going to be at New Vintage tonight, and that show starts at 8. Dale, I understand that's a true story in that song.
Yeah, I had the unfortunate life experience of losing a girlfriend to a single car accident on a highway, and it threw me for a loop. One of the types of things you expect to lose your parents and possibly your siblings, but you never really expect to lose someone that close, or I didn't. First time I'd ever experienced that kind of loss. So it took years to deal with it. Well, you never get over that type of thing. You just learn to come to terms with it. So, and one of the ways to do it was I always there was a white cross on the road. You see all these white crosses everywhere, and we'd put one up. Well, I say we, a friend of Terry's had put the cross up, and I was really glad because it gave me kind of comfort, because she was cremated. There's no place to go, and so when I seen that cross, it just kind of it brought pain, but it also brought good memories, and so they widened the road. And of course, they tore the cross down. So I'm sure that's not a story that's just mine. I'm sure it happens to a lot of people.
Right. And you went back and put a cross there?
Put the cross up, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
Well, a different one. Wasn't as good as the other one. I wish I could find the other one.
But still a marker of where it had happened. There was a documentary about you called Crazy Again.
Yeah, it's about that period, actually, around the time that happened to my girlfriend. And it was Zalman King the one that did it. It was kind of an offshoot. We were actually shooting a movie. We were shooting B-roll for a movie called Austin Angel, which was going to be a University of Texas funded movie. And then the department got disbanded over at UT, so that never did happen. But we still had this B footage, and Zalman said he wanted to do a documentary on this part of my life, because I did talk about going insane. I really did.
Yeah. Well, the title of the documentary was Crazy Again.
Yep.
And now you have a new album called Call Me Insane.
Crazy's been part of my life. What can I say? It's been an insane journey.
And it's not the only time you've ever been in a film. I mean, you've acted in quite a few films, actually.
Yeah, bit parts. I've been lucky. I'm about to do a full feature. It's going to be a movie short right now. We're shooting it in September called Yellow Rose, and then later we'll turn it into a full feature. But we want to do a short just so we can get it into things like South by Southwest Film Festival and other festivals.
And then I read where you actually appeared on The Bachelorette too, right?
Yeah,
the reality show. And
yeah. She didn't pick me. No, we were just. They were doing a whole thing about a two-step competition, and we did it at Green Hall down there in Texas, and I happen to have a song on my last album, El Rancho Azul, that teaches two steps. Quick, slow. So I think that's probably how we got in on that.
Right. Now, the new album, Call Me Insane, is produced by Lloyd Maines, who's a well-known producer. He's worked with so many people. Had you worked with Lloyd before?
Only in a musician aspect. He's played on other albums I've recorded, but that's the first time. We've been trying to do a production project forever, but and even this was hard to get together just because he's so busy, I'm so busy, and we found 4 days right before we hit the road, and we did it in 4 days.
And what did he bring to the project? Why did you pick him?
Attention to detail. Yeah. I mean, he's easy to work with, and is got great taste in sonics and the way an album should be. And I gave him a bunch of songs, and songs I would have recorded probably would have made a more schizophrenic album, but he kept it together and picked songs that made it more cohesive, and I think in retrospect, and but during it was really obvious that he pays attention to detail, and he put Don through the ringer because Lloyd Maines is an excellent steel guitar player.
That's what I thought.
And, so he was over there just whipping Don. He got a Rhodes Scholarship.
I bet. Well, you have a wonderful band with you. Would you mind introducing everybody for us?
Yeah, that's Mike Bernal back on the drums.
All right, Mike Bernal.
Might you be? And he's from Lubbock, Texas. And critically on upright bass, Chris Kreps, and vocals, by the way. And he's been with me 13 years. Don Pollock.
Don Pollock on the pedal steel. Very nice. Yeah, great. Well, how about one more song?
Yeah, why not? Well, Don's going to play a little piano on this, on the steel guitar, and then go back to steel. Just a shame you can't see this because it sure looks a lot better than it sounds.
Well, we're going to have some video of it. People
it's called
will get
Jones for Jones.
One more question, Dale Watson. Did you ever meet George Jones?
I did. I had the great pleasure of meeting him a couple times, but one in particular was in a recording session with doing the tribute to Webb Pierce called Caught in the Web that was produced by Gail Davies, and we were talking, and he told me he wanted to record a song I wrote, and it was Tickled Pink.
Wow.
He never did because, that's a long story.
Okay. Well, that's quite an honor. At least he expressed that interest. Well, thank you guys so much. It was wonderful to have you today.
Thank you all for having us.
We really
See you at New
appreciate
Vintage, I hope.
Yes, sir. New Vintage tonight. Dale Watson, Call Me Insane's a new album. I'm Laura Shine. We're going to go back to the studio here with Stacy.